fact, the Arabs took from the African mystery system and made up the order called the Shriners. But yet this all came from the African mystery system of the Nile Valley thousands of years before there was any Shriners even in existence. This is also incorporated to the African mystery system even in Islam. But the West came up with the Shriners through the Knights Templars, who when they were in Jerusalem during the Crusades, this is where they were initiated into some of the African mystery system by way of the Shriners that became the Knights Templars. Others got this information from the Pythagorean order, these Greeks who came in, and it became the Pythagorean order and others and so forth. But the order of it came from the African fallopian tube of the African spiritual mystery system of the Nile Valley. But yet every last one of them give credit, meaning Judaism, Christianity, Islam, to each other, but none of them tell them where they got their information from. And I'm saying that none of us should be arguing whether we're Christians or whether we are African Christians or we're African Hebrew or African Muslim. All of that belongs to us in the first place. That's right. So you see that the symbol that they use, they even use the African Nimbus crown right here. A man by the name of Florence Hopkinson is the one that brought the concept of the Shriners to the West when he also was met with an Arab diplomat, and that's how the Shriners came to the West. But they got an order called the Daughters of the Nile, which is part of the African mystery system of the Eastern Star. But this is where it's corrupted in a satanic origin, where the Europeans are corrupting it, the Eastern Star, and turn it upside down, and have a skull where they drink through the royal arch when they become the royal arch degree. And the Scottish Rite, they drink from a human skull, a wine, symbolically of the rites of initiation into this royal arch order, that they would not give up the secret. That means our African ancestral secret. But the whole denigration and desecration and the satanic part that they've corrupted it into was turning the goddess of Set star upside down. Nowhere you see that star in the temple upside down. So the order of the Eastern Star that they got on the European campuses today, and the order of the Eastern Stars, and some of our people and sisters are Eastern Stars, now they got the star upside down, corrupted it, when in fact when you go back to the temple, nowhere is it upside down. This is the African spiritual system that was taken from African people, brothers and sisters. In fact, when that star rose, it told our ancestors that a set was coming back because it rose in meridian. It turned red, white, and blue. So on all the columns, that's why it was painted red, white, and blue to give an indication that a set, the Eastern Star, was going to come back. So they painted all the columns red, white, and blue. Now you see Uncle Beast, that's how they came up with the red, white, and blue. He ain't none of my uncle, but now you can see where they corrupted it from your African ancestors. That's why they don't want you messing with this. We've got to open up the light of our mind, brothers and sisters. Been locked down. To see that this is called the Het Heru. What is the Het Heru? The Het Heru, this temple goes back to a pre-dynastic times, and through dynastic times, many kings built onto it. And you see these massive pylons here. Look how small the people are. Some of our group right here, on this side, not this side. Now you see how large the temple pylons are. The Het Heru is dedicated to Heru, and the symbol was the falcon. Het Heru means the White House of Heru. Corrupted it by the West and America. That's where you get the White House from, the Het Heru, the White House right here. Here you see carved in stone the falcon, showing Shin's symbol for eternity as Ra will rise to give us life. Now you can see where Francis Hopkinson and others use the presidential symbol. You see in the Het Heru, and right next to your ancestors, carved in stone, somebody knows something about us that they don't want us to know about ourselves. That's why they don't want you messing with Kemet. Here you see it carved in stone in the Het Heru, as we see the Ankh Shu. Ankh Shu means life for eternity, because long as Ra rises in east, we will have life for eternity. We use the zoomorphic zoop type Heru, the falcon, because the falcon flies in the sky all day, just like Ra when Ra rises in the sun. Now you can see it's been corrupted where they got the presidential symbol from now, the eagle, copied from your ancestors' Ankh Shu or Heru right here. Instead, now you see Ra on top of the falcon's head, corrupted to now the Mogan Da'u, or the Solomon seal, with 13 stars. And 13 olive branches, 13 leaves, 13 feathers, 13 arrows, 13 stripes, everything representing 13. Pubis Umun also has 13. 13 meaning the light of knowledge for the resurrection to be born again. This is what they're dealing with. And also some say the 13 colonies. But let's look even to this further, brothers and sisters, and see the red, white, and blue and so forth. and the Mogan Da'u, or the Stall Solomon Seal. I recently came back from Washington, D.C. I stopped in to see the 33rd degree Grand Sovereign Scottish Rite Temple, stopped in there and looked into their holies of holies that we call the Ankh Manu. They corrupted it and took it from us, but I looked into their holies of holies, and what did they have in red, white, and blue? They had Isis, the Greek name for Set, and they also have Osiris, the Greek name Osiris, the African name Asar, and the Greek name Isis that we call Aset. Here you see in red, white, and blue who they're giving homage to. In red, white, and blue, inside of their 33rd degree Grand Sovereign Temple in Washington, 16th Street in Washington, D.C. This is in their holies of holies. Let's go on, look even further to see that here you see the Bennu bird representing resurrection. The east and the west was taken from the Ankar. The Ankar was the lion representing the east and the west, and the rising of Ra in the east and going down in the west into Amenta, into the spiritual realm, and be born again. This is where they took that from, and also from Haru. But yet you see 33rd. We didn't have 33 degrees, a few degrees above freezing. We had 360 degrees of spiritual knowledge. This is what African people dealt with. But let's go on and see, brothers and sisters, that the 360 degrees, this was called the Amsu. The Amsu was the resurrection, that you be rise again and resurrected to be born again. But in order to be born again, you had to be on the square. And to be on the square, you had to be in the position of the square representing morality, and also the compass representing spirituality. And you see the falcon bird Haru with one knee down. We did not worship the falcon. It was a zoomorphic type, just like we don't, the United States doesn't worship the eagle either, right? That's a presidential symbol. So these represent the Horus kings. But to be on the square, one knee down, one knee up, this is the square of morality. One knee up is spirituality. So the Masonic order of the Western world, this is where they get on the square from. Let's go to the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and who you see George Washington, one knee down, one knee up, copy from your ancestors. Somebody knows something about you that they don't want you to know about yourself. Tell it. Oh, they don't want you messing with this. Because I took an oath. I know Steve Coakley's against the oath, but I took an African oath right there in Africa that I would sacrifice my life to tell our story. People talking about, I'm a brother come up to me and ask me, oh, you're traveling, man. Yes, I've been traveling for 18 years to the east. How long you been traveling? Travel back to Africa. That's the true travel, and see it. I was sitting in the Cairo Cairo Hilton. Mathu was there in 1985 when a brother came from Yemen and asked me, are you Ashraf Kwesi? I said, yes, I'm shocked. The brother knows me. I'm sitting up here in Cairo Hilton. And he said, we got your tapes in Yemen. They're magnificent. They're going all over the country. Deeper into it, not only that, but the X. Remember the X? For resurrection, is that right? Resurrection, and that was Asar, who was the god of resurrection, the first black god of resurrection, copied from you, and he sends up in the Capitol building in Valley Forge. They call him the worshipful Grand Master. No, he's not the worshipful Grand Master. The worshipful Grand Master who sit in the east was the great black king, the great black Asar sitting on the square. As you see him with the X that's been corrupted by George Washington with the X, where they took it from your ancestors. They don't want you to know about these great black kings who are deified as the god. Let's go on to see that Heka was the ruler of life in the spiritual realm. Why did we use the ostrich crown? Because the ostrich crown represented that like the ostrich